I don't really care too much about my presentation clearly because I look crazy if you see my hair. I'm eating chips. So you're in for a special one. If you're not on Patreon, you won't see this information again. But not from me. So make sure you pay attention. Pay attention. This is gonna be a good one. I'm drinking a lot of water. I have my sea moss today. Let's get a few more people in the chat and then we'll get started. On tonight's episode, not necessarily a podcast, but it is a very good episode. A lot of sauce will be given out tonight. Let's just say that. So, those who stay and are patient, you will have the drop on you, motherfuckers. You will have the drop. I know my hair look crazy. I need somebody to do my hair. I'm just so fucking busy. I don't have time for anyone to even do my hair. It's crazy. All right. Are you guys ready to get started? Let me see some ones in the chat. I need to see at least 20 ones. When we start seeing some ones in the chat, we get started in this motherfucker. I need more ones than that. Come on. Give me some more ones. I don't see no ones on Instagram, so y'all niggas must just not want to drop them ones. Let's go. Drop them ones so we can get started. Like I said, guys, this is going on Patreon, so if y'all, I don't really care about my presentation right now because it's about the information that I'm about to give out. So this shit is going on Patreon, and you're not going to see this ever again. I mean, I'm recording on YouTube, so if you go on YouTube, you'll see it. Link in the bio, by the way. But all right, that's enough ones. We should be able to get started now. All right. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is how to easily make her chase you. The little nuances of dating, the little nuances of, relationships that you guys aren't doing. Some of the things that you guys don't even know about. So let's get into it. Now, I did take notes, so I'll be reading a lot because this one is a bit extensive. So now you'll have a lot of situation when guys are on dates, right? And I don't only blame guys because this is something that society teaches us that, women are the prize. And usually when you treat her like a star, how will she treat you? How will she treat you? She would treat you like a fan, right? When you put her on a pedestal, you start to pedestalize the girl. You treat her like, oh my God, like I'm so lucky to be here. I don't want to fuck this up, right? And usually when you guys do that, when you treat the woman as if she's better than you, she'll start to believe it. She'll start to believe like, oh, I'm a little better than this guy, or he's a little below my standards, right? And when you conduct yourself that way, she'll receive it that way. And usually what you'll find when you do this, the attraction starts to die down. The attraction starts to dwindle. Her attraction for you will start to die down. It will start to dwindle. And when you treat her like she's some type of star, like I said, she's going to treat you like a fan. And how do we treat fans, right? You're not going to treat a fan as your equal. You're not going to treat a fan as somebody you're going to romanticize. You're going to treat a fan like a fan. So because you're putting her on this pedestal, you're pedestalizing the girl, and she's going to act accordingly. So this is one of the first mistakes, right? And the way to switch that is you need to be the prize, right? You need to be the prize, because when you start to treat her like the prize, she will start to act as if you're beneath her, right? And we don't want that. And this is a lot of the times why guys go on dates with girls and they never get a follow-up date, or they don't get a call back, or even sometimes they may get ghosted. Guys get ghosted too. So this will happen a lot of times when you pedestalize the girl, right? And it happens a lot. Now what you need to understand, you need to be the prize, and she needs to feel like she's winning you over. Everybody likes something that they work harder for. And I put out this study the other day on a podcast that I did. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, make sure you hit the link in the bio and subscribe to the podcast, even Patreon, guys, because it's a lot of information on there that you won't see on Patreon. Um, and it was the University of Chicago put out a study that people are more likely to work harder for something that is uncertain versus knowing it. Now, when you're on a date with this girl and you're giving her all the certainty, and you're like, oh my God, oh, you look so beautiful. You're giving all these compliments and treating her like she's a star and pedestalizing her, right? And when you do that, what happens? She'll treat you like a fan. So, and you're not giving her any certainty because she already knows that, like, I got this in the bag. This motherfucker love me. So when you need to realize, when you go on this date, you need to be the prize, and you need to make her feel like she's winning you over. And like I said, everyone works harder for a prize. Like that study that I put out at the University of Chicago, everyone works harder when they feel as if they're the prize. Now, what you need to know is you need to actually believe that you are a prize, right? And how does that work? Like, for example, how you conduct yourself, how you conduct yourself. And when I'm on a date, I'm not going to open doors. I'm not, I don't open car doors. Now, like, not only because it's just like bad game, but even when I was younger, I just felt as if opening a car door was something that I knew I couldn't keep consistent. So I don't want to set these false standards for a girl and try to open her car door, or try to open and close the door for her to the car. And I knew that wasn't something I was going to be consistent with. Little things like that are like and just because you don't open a car door, that doesn't mean you're not a nice person, right? It's overly nice. It's overly nice. And I'm going to make sense of it later on in this podcast as to um why this is not a good idea when we talk about how girls are getting ghosted, because a lot of girls get listen. And at one point I was doing it a lot too. When I went on my rage, when I was just like wilding out, I was ghosting girls left and right. And guys are tired of getting ghosted, but you got to understand these girls are getting ghosted too. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Um, but you have to act and conduct yourself as if you're the prize, right? You have to learn to polarize. You have to learn to polarize your relationship. You have to learn to polarize things from the beginning. And when you act like the prize, you act as if you're the prize. Of course, you're going to get some tests, right? She's going to test you, and she's probably going to shit test you. She's probably going to hit you with a compliance test. But make sure that you're polarizing things. One of the biggest mistakes is nice guys, what they do, and some guys in general, not just always nice guys, what they do is they'll um they'll lavish the girl with a lot of compliments. They'll try to carry the conversation. Or what you'll find is a lot of girls, they will try to a lot of guys will try to like impress her, trying to make her laugh and do all these things. But if the girl says that she doesn't like something, like say for example, if you love playing video games, right? And she says, "Oh, I fucking hate guys who play the video games. My ex used to play video games all the time, and that shit was annoying." And you be like, "Oh, word, well, I don't play it like that. I just play it sometimes." Sounding like Zeke from fucking Power. I don't really play games like that. Just sometimes, right? And you're just saying that to impress her, especially when you previously said that, "Oh, I love video games." Now she knows you're just trying to impress her. Because you acting like a fan. And now you looking like you're beneath her. So what's gonna happen? Her attraction isn't gonna be as high. And you gotta understand why. Because she's seen somebody who she considers the prize. How you act and how she act is gonna be how the prize acts is gonna be totally different. Now you have to learn to polarize things, right? So if she disagrees with you on something, if you say, oh, if she like we said, if she says, I hate guys who play games, and you know you like to play games, you're like, oh man, well that sucks because shit, I love playing games. I love playing games a lot. Yeah. Well, I hope we can figure that out because I ain't gonna stop playing my video games, right? And this is something that you want to do. Like, even if you challenge her on the smallest things, like you don't want to like go out of your way to be argumentative and ruin the date, but the little small things, right? You don't want to like make the date uncomfortable, but you want to polarize your relationship, right? You want to polarize some of the small things, like even if it's a little disagreement. Like, I remember a while ago, this was when like Trump was president, and I'm not a Trump. I never voted for him, and I'm not a big fan, but I don't 100% hate him. And the girl's like, "Oh, Trump's an asshole. This and that and the third." I'm like, "Well, why do you think he's an asshole?" She's like, "Are you serious right now? Oh my god, I can't believe you act." No, it's a genuine question. Tell me why you think he's an asshole. And I kid you not, she couldn't give me one fucking reason. You know why? Because she was going with the census. She was going with what everyone else was saying. She couldn't give me a political reason. Only thing she said was he's a racist. And I said, okay, you think he's a racist? How is he a racist? I kid you not, she could not give me one reply. And I'm somebody who pays during his presidency. I paid attention to a lot of things. And the point is, I challenged her on it. And then eventually I said, well, I didn't vote for him, and I'm not necessarily a big fan of his, but I don't necessarily hate him like everyone else does, right? I don't necessarily hate him like everyone else does. But my point is, I challenged her on it, and she could not give me one legitimate reason, right? And then, I didn't stick on the topic because I don't want to make things uncomfortable. But this was a very beautiful girl, and she was not used to this. She was not used to guys challenging her. She wasn't used to guys talking about this, that, and the third. She wasn't used to any of that, right? So when I challenged her and asked her, why do you think he's a racist? She couldn't tell me. She couldn't give me any reason. Now, the point of it is not because of Trump or whether you like him or not. The point is you are not afraid to polarize versus what the nice guy does. Oh yeah, Trump definitely an asshole. Oh yeah, I don't like that guy. I hate that guy. Oh, what, Trump? What? No, I don't like that guy. Yeah, just yeah, and girls can pick up on this. They can see that you're just agreeing just to agree, right? They pick up on this. They're really good at sensing congruence, right? What you're saying versus what your body language is putting out, if that matches. So they're really good at that. So you have to learn to stop uh you know stop agreeing with everything and stop overly explaining yourself, right? Now, another thing is, you guys need to stop chasing validation. You need to stop chasing validation. Now, what you got to understand, whenever you go on a date, especially with a new girl, especially when you start talking to a girl, especially, and it's always the girls you guys like, right? Because I get this all the time when guys book private consultation. They'll text my assistant, be like, "Hey, I want to book a private consultation." First thing I get on the phone with these guys, "Hey, KB, listen, I always talk to girls. I'm used to talking to a lot of girls. There's always these girls that I'm always good with them. I get mad girls, this and that, and the third, but it's just this one. She got me, bro. Like, I don't know what it is. I can't shake it. I just like her more." And when you go on a date with somebody, somebody's going to be trying harder than the other, right? Somebody's going to be trying harder than the other. Now, usually in an interaction, and you can also see this in relationships also, whoever is trying harder in an interaction usually has the least amount of power. You understand that? And you can see that correlation in relationships too. Whoever usually cares less usually has the most amount of power. Now, when you go on these dates, somebody's going to be chasing validation. Somebody's going to be chasing somebody's validation. And you don't want to be that person that's trying harder in an interaction, trying to get validation, because in that interaction from the jump, you will have less power, and your value will be deemed lesser than, and she will see you lesser than, and therefore you will not be considered as the prize, right? So you need to understand this in your interaction. Now, how this works is whenever you go like on a date, right? You go on a date with someone, whether you're a guy or a girl, whenever you go on a date with someone, there's like a validation basket, right? There's like this invisible validation basket. Now, you'll have a situation where people will begin to seek validation from somewhere, right? It's just how it goes. And one of you will try to one of you are going to begin to try to validate and try to impress this person because usually when you go on a date, it's like it's just something that's happened. It's something that's happening. Like whether it's like a compliment, oh, you look nice. Oh, oh, damn, like, oh wow, that's so interesting. Damn, you look good. Damn, girl, you looking good. Oh, I like that. I like this. Now, with this validation bucket, if you're not giving this validation, it's gonna seem weird. Now, what you want to do is make sure that you're not the one trying to validate her, right? Now, if you don't validate her, she'll start to feel as if things are weird and she'll start to feel as if she needs to fill that validation bucket. And then she'll start to qualify herself if you're not validating her. Because like I said, whenever you go out with somebody, whenever you go out on a date, it's something that is expected. Especially when she's used to dating guys, right? And there as soon as she get out on a date, it's like, well, oh, damn, you look good. You look that. Oh my God, I love this. I love that. I love this. I love that. And when you're not doing it, what happens is she's going to start trying to get your validation because she's used to it. She's used to like getting compliments. She's used to guys telling her she looks good. Now, if you simply withhold that and don't tell her, she's going to want to have to fill that validation basket. Now, this is theory, of course, but in theory, it works. So simply don't start out with compliments and don't start out with you look this and you look that. And what you'll see is she'll start to qualify herself. She'll start to talk about herself. She'll start to talk about, um, oh, I work here and I'll do this and I do that. And oh, I have a bachelor's degree and this and that and third. So what you'll see is she's gonna start trying to impress you because that awkwardness of her not receiving validation, she wants to receive it. And when you do this, she'll realize that you're not so easily won over. And that whole notion of you being on a date and you being the prize will start to come to fruition, right? Now, how do you exactly do this, right? So what you want to do is when you're not chasing validation, this is something that a lot of guys do and most guys do. Even if you think you're good with game, a lot of guys do this. And it's when you're gonna date, you will start talking about your money. You start talking about your money, right? Oh yeah, I make 50,000 a month. I make 100,000 a month. I make 10,000 a month. This and that and the third. You go out there, you're starting to talk about your money. That's you chasing validation. That's one way of you chasing validation. Uh, when you talk about the type of job you're getting, or the type of job you got, or even better, oh, the car you drive. When you talk about the car you drive, oh yeah, I drive a Mercedes. Oh yeah, I got a Bentley. I got a i8. I got a Mercedes. I got a BMW. This and that. Don't do that. Don't do that because what you're doing is you're chasing validation. You're chasing validation, and all guys do it. Even if it's the small things, right? Oh yeah, I just got this Rolex. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about none of that shit. Be about it. If she's gonna see it, she's gonna see you driving it. She's gonna see you wearing the nice clothes or the designer or the nice watch. She's gonna see all of that shit. Don't talk about it. Be about it. But when you do that, now you're chasing validation. You're trying to impress her. Don't try to impress her because then you start to get this notion of you being the prize. You're starting to communicate that because most guys don't do it. And it's real easy for guys to fall into this. It's real easy for guys to try to impress her. And even after hearing this, because there's been guys that I've coached and I'm telling them on the phone, okay, for your date tomorrow, don't do this, don't do this. I want you to do this, and do that. And they'll still fucking do it. I'll be like, yeah, so did you tell her about your Rolex? Oh, yeah, I did. Why'd you do that? Oh, well, she asked about it. Okay, well, what did you tell her? Oh, I told her how much it cost. And don't do that. Just be like, yo, it cost a ticket. That's all you need to know. It cost a good ticket. Don't give her exact numbers. Say with a little cockiness, a little condescending. Oh, it's a car note. It's a car. That's it. That's all you really need to know. But you telling the exact amount, trying to impress her. She knows that you treating her like the prize. You trying to impress her. Real motherfuckers ain't trying. Real motherfuckers that's undecided about a female. They're not trying to impress her. And that's one of the biggest mistakes you guys are making. Stop trying to impress her. Right? Trying to make her laugh. Trying to make her feel comfortable. That is chasing validation. That is chasing validation. So what you want to do in these situations is lead with your actions. And another thing is, stop explaining yourself. Stop it. A lot of you guys explain yourself. You're like, oh, for example, like say, for example, all right, well, there was this girl, the personal situation, this is a girl I'm talking to, right? And I'm gonna buy a house soon, but I rent out like an apartment. I rent out like a basement apartment. It's a pretty big, nice basement apartment, but I rent it out. And um she came over and at first I had made this mistake. I was like, yeah, it's just a little apartment, but I'm getting my house soon. And I thought about that and I see how that interaction went, right? So I corrected it. And so now when girls come over, fly ass girls, bad bitches, like coming over, getting piped down. But what I do when they come in, I don't give a fuck what you think about my place. You're gonna take your shoes off, and before you sit on my bed, you cannot sit on my bed with outside clothes. So I don't know if you want to take those pants off. I don't know, but you're gonna sit in that seat. And before you know it, they're asking permission. They're asking me permission to come and sit on my bed. Because why? I'm not trying to impress them. I'm not saying, "Oh, I don't care if like, my place is small," but no, I don't say none of that. I don't explain myself, none of that shit, right? And I just say, "Well, well, hey, before you come into my place, please take off your shoes." Right? And I'm not worried about pissing her off. I'm not worried about what she's going to think about me. I'm not worried about any of that shit. I'm letting her know what it is from the jump. If she don't like it, she can fucking skate. It's that plain and simple. You understand? So that's another mistake that you guys are doing, right? Or if like I know a lot of guys do this, be like, oh yeah, right now I work at Chipotle, but I'm about to get a better job. Stop. Don't explain yourself. It don't explain nothing. Don't do none of that. A lot of the times, and here's some source for you. When girls ask me what I do for a living, I go, like, oh yeah, I'm a pizza boy. I'm a pizza boy. Yeah, I don't shit. I deliver papers on my bike in the morning. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there with a Rolex on, and I've just picked her up in my new whip, right? Oh yeah, no, I don't. Oh yeah, I'm an astronaut. I'll be saying stupid shit. Eventually, I'll tell her, but I'll I'm not trying to impress her because I'm not trying to jump to conclusions. I'm not trying to just say, oh, I do this, that, and the third. I'm not trying to do that. And I'm letting her know that I'm not impressed by you and I'm not trying to impress you. Right. So these are very important things that you guys want to make sure you're doing when you actually when you're actually on a date. Don't try to impress. Now, took some notes here, so give me a second. When I'm reading, we're gonna get to it. Now, going back to being the prize, and I want to reiterate, right? When you treat a girl like the prize, she will treat you like a fan. And it is the honest truth. It is the honest truth. And I don't understand why guys have such a hard time understanding this. You do. And you got to think about it like this, right? Guys, they're sick of getting ghosted, right? But what you have to understand that women are being ghosted too. And I know personally because I would say maybe two years ago, I was wilding, right? It was a different girl almost every day, and I would ghost these bitches, and they'd be texting my phone, blowing up my phone. Oh hey, how you been? Haven't heard from you. Haven't. Oh where you been? Oh hey KB. Oh hey, and I might respond here and there, but I never was the type to really block girls unless like she had something wrong with her. I thought she was like just fucking weird. I remember 2 years ago, it was this really pretty Dominican girl. But I had blocked her because she she was just into some weird stuff, and she had asked me to this this bitch let me say this properly so I don't get terminated off my live. Um, she asked me to defecate on her chest. I swear to God, she had asked me this, and I kid you not, she's probably one of the baddest girls I've ever talked to. You know, thick, crazy body, everything super pretty, like hazel eyes. But I blocked her after that because it was just really weird. Like, who asked that? And it makes me think like the fact that she was comfortable asking me that, that that guys are doing it. Like like why would you even have the nerve to ask me something like that? So she got ghosted. But usually when I ghost girls, I just slowly stop talking to them. I don't really like block, but she definitely got ghosted. Now, what you got to understand that women are being ghosted also, just like guys are being ghosted. And the guys that ghosted them, they consider them as the prize, right? These girls are meeting guys on dating apps. They're sleeping with them and they're getting blocked. And they're sitting by the phone like waiting like, "Oh my god, like damn, I hope he texts me. Damn, like I hope this guy texts me. Is he ever going to text me?" And she considers that guy to be the prize, right? So let's think about it like this. The guys that are ghosting them, the guys are not treating them like ladies, the guys that are not gentlemen, right? The guys that are not gentlemen. So now you come along, right? She's already experienced that, but now you come along treating her like the prize, validating her, opening up her car door, right? To her that seems weird. It seems weird because she knows what it's like when the guy who she considers the prize treats her. Now you're coming and treating her like this. To her, it's weird. And subconsciously, she's going to feel like you're not the prize. And it kind of sucks because it goes back to this old saying that Naomi told me in the ninth grade: you treat a girl like dirt, she sticks like mud. And it's crazy, but it's fucking true. And it's so crazy because men are so accessible nowadays due to social media and dating apps that most men have this beta simp game, right? So when she sees something different, it's like, oh my God, he's the one. He's so attractive. That's what I want. That's what I like. Because he's not so easily obtainable. He's not so easily bought over, right? And when you guys come treating her nice, opening doors, oh my God, you look so beautiful. Oh my God, you look so nice. Subconsciously, she knows you're not the prize, and her attraction for you will start to dwindle down. It will start to, I promise you. And don't listen to none of these females of what they say. And even and let's put things into perspective. There are exceptions, right? There are exceptions. You know, girls who are not so good looking, right? A girl who's not so good looking and doesn't have a lot of options, she's gonna be okay with whatever comes her way. So if you're saying, "Oh no, that's not true because I do that for my girl and she loves it," yeah, because your girl looks like precious, right? She's not the most attractive girl. Maybe she's a little overweight, so she's going to be comfortable whatever you give her, right? Or a girl that's been severely hurt, and you come at the right time, but eventually that's going to wear off, and sometimes that doesn't even work, right? Sometimes that doesn't even work. But I will tell you, you do have exceptional situations. You do have situations where, um, you know, a girl is just happy with her guy, and those are very rare. And another exception you'll see is when a guy is like, when he has status or he has money, right? And he treats his guy and he treats his girls good, but she knows that he's a prize. Like, for example, if you have like athletes or professional fighters or guys who are in a position of power, what the fuck? How does this shit just came on like that? Anyway, when you guys have like athletes or guys that are professional fighters or guys that have status and are getting money, and subconsciously and just not even subconsciously, consciously, their girls know that he's the prize. He's the prize. He's getting millions or hundreds of thousands a month, and she knows that, like, all right, chances are I won't find another guy like this. I'm in an amazing position. I get an allowance, I get money. So those situations might work out, but usually That's not the case. Most of you guys don't fall into the 15%. Most men don't fall into the 1%. And you see these women on TikTok, you go on my algorithm, all I see is I need a guy 6 feet, making 6 figures. This, well, good luck with that, because you're in that's a small pool, and it's a wide gap of women that want that. And truthfully, all of you are not going to get it. So if you don't have money, and if you don't have that shit, you need to have what? Game. Because not everybody wants to be rich. Not everybody's going to be rich. So, women say, oh, buy me flowers. Then, okay, you go ahead and do that shit and watch what happens on your date. So what you got to realize is that girls are getting ghosted too. So you got to go into, so your mindset going into it needs to be, I'm automatically not impressed by her. And when you come into a situation, you need to understand, like, I don't really know how I feel about her. Like, I remember I was on a date, it was a while back, and the girl automatically, she was just like, you're not fucking tonight, right? And I was just like, well, to be honest with you, I really I haven't made a decision whether I wanted to do that with you yet. To be honest. So, I mean, that's perfectly fine, because I'm really still getting to know you. I'm not, like, having sex with you is really not on my mind right now, right? Of course I thought about it, but I'm not going to gas her up. And I continued not to gas her up. And what happened? She started to qualify herself. She's chasing validation. And because of that, I held out on it. And guess what? I got it that night. And it's always like that. It's always like that. But they're doing that to test you. They're doing that to test you. So you need to go into the whole situation with the mindset of, I'm not so easily impressed with her. I don't care how beautiful she is. So you're not going to go and complimenting her. You're not going, oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, damn, I see you tonight, ma. Damn, baby girl, I see. No, none of that. None of that. Oh, how you doing? Hey, what's up? How you doing, love? Okay. All right. Let's see, how was your day going? Okay, cool. And you might tease her a bit. She might drop her fork. All right, Butterfingers, you going to keep dropping your fork? Right? But we're not going to validate her. We're not validating her at all. That's not what we're doing. There will be no compliments. Now, if she asks for a compliment, you could be like, I'm not sure how I feel about it. She's like, oh, you don't like my dress? You don't like how? I like the color. I like the color. I'm not a really big fan of the dress, but I like the colors. Or you could be like, I mean, I like you, but I'm not sure how I feel about the dress. To be honest, if you want me to be honest, I'm not really too sure how I feel about it. It's but I mean, your makeup is cool, right? And you purposely say, oh, your makeup is cool, yeah, right? Because then she's gonna start chasing your validation. Then she's gonna be on your body heavy, right? Because women like a challenge, and it's not something they see most of the time. Because 90 to anywhere from 85 to 90% of you motherfuckers don't have no game, not even the slightest bit, not even the slightest bit, right? So how do you do this exactly? Besides what I said, for example, if she says, oh, I'm a lawyer or I'm a doctor, most guys, how they reply is, oh my God, really? You're a lawyer? Oh shit, that's crazy. You must make a lot of money then, huh? Right? And that's probably what they're used to. But I don't care if she said she was the vice president. I don't care, right? What's the vice? Kamala Harris. I don't give a fuck. I was on a date with Kamala Harris. She was like, yeah, well, I'm like, who are you? Oh, how could you not know? Ma'am, are you going to tell me who you are? I'm the vice president. Oh, of these United States? Okay, what made you want to get into that? Not even just going into, oh my God, that's crazy. Like you're a vice, you're basically next up to be president. Like, whoa, no. Oh, you're a vice president. Okay. So what made you want to get into that career? What'd you do before that? Because I know being a president is not just something you do. You have to have some type of political career. She'd be like, oh, well, I think she was what was she, a governor? No, not a governor. She was like a senator or something like that, right? In California, because I know she was locking up a whole bunch of people. And like, oh, okay, well, oh, that's interesting. What made you want to get into politics? Instead of validating her, right? I'm asking more questions. I'm going on a deeper level. I'm asking her to make her really think, right? So she's gonna think, wow, he's really not impressed by this. He's really just keep asking instead of just like validating me and saying, wow, that's really impressive, right? So you can be like, oh, so what made you get into politics? Oh, well, I just wanted to as a girl, like, and this, whatever her explanation is. I'm like, oh, okay, that's really interesting. That is really interesting. Not, oh my God, damn, yo, you lit. That's crazy. Oh no, that's interesting. That's really interesting. And just a little impressive. And mind you, if she tells me she's the fucking vice president, that's a little impressive. I'm a little impressed by that. I don't care if she said she was a lawyer. I don't care if she said she's the CEO of a Fortune 500 company and bringing in $2 million a month. Oh, okay. Well, that's really interesting. That's a pretty good amount of money you bring in every month, right? That's really interesting, right? Even if I was working at uh freaking Taco Bell, she was like, "Oh, what do you do?" I work at Taco Bell. Where what I'm saying, I'd be doing my thing. I'm not trying to impress her. I'm not trying to downplay what I'm doing. I'm not trying to do any of that. But what you have to understand is I'm coming in with the idea that I'm the prize. I'm that guy. I'm that dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm Big Daddy. And she gonna know that, right? I'm that guy. So when you go into the situation, understanding that like you're the prize and you're the one that's making it happen, and I don't care what you do, I'm not impressed. And realistically, girls who make a lot of money, that really does nothing for me. That's genuinely how I feel. Because it's like, all right, cool. A girl, let's say if a girl, hypothetically, even if she did make more money than me, because even still, no girl I know makes more money than me. Maybe with the exception, not even my, I don't even know if my mom making more money. My mom makes a lot of money, but most girls that I meet don't make more money than me, right? So it's like at most, even if she's making a lot of money, she's a woman is not going to buy you a house. She's not going to buy you a luxury car, and if she does, you only time I've seen that is very rare situations, right? The most she's going to buy you is a nice pair of sneakers or expensive pair of sneakers, if that, right? Because you hear women say it all the time. Oh, well, I can't date a man that's making less money than me. He got to be making more or just as much. I hear it all the time. All the time. So it's like I don't give a fuck how much money you're making as a female. That's not something I'm impressed with by you. That's not what's attracting me to you. So I'm really genuinely not impressed when women try to use that as a bargaining chip. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's pretty cool. That's good for you. Yeah. And next, on to the next conversation. You understand what I'm saying? And it sucks because ladies they don't realize that, but it's like I want somebody who's going to like, I don't want no aggressive ass female. I want a feminine female, Obviously I have to be attracted to you. I'm somebody who's respectful, somebody who I know I can eventually raise a family with, somebody who's presentable, somebody who has some code of ethics and morals. And I'm super busy. So it's like either you're gonna be like, a support system for me, or I really don't fucking need you. And it's like, that's just how I see it. I know that's not how every guy sees it, but that's definitely how I see it. And another thing is when you validate what she does for a living, it's like you don't understand. Like, what if that's not something she wanted to do, right? What if that's not even something that like she had? Like, what if she's not even happy with her career? What if that's something she wants to change, right? So what if it's like, all right, you're like, oh my god, that's so impressive, but she's like, oh yeah, and deep down inside she wants to change professions, or it's not something she wants to do. So now you're validating her, and she's not even taking it as a compliment because it's not something she's proud about. It's not even something that she even wants to do. So it's like, she's like, oh, okay. So now it's just another compliment, right? And what if she actually wants to do something else? What if she wants to start a business, but you're complimenting her on this job that she has, and it's really not even something that she likes. And that's why I say, guys, when you ask deeper questions, try to get to know her, try to see like what is her reasoning for it, like try to get down to the root of it. And and then when you actually do that, she'll probably be like, wow, so he's like genuinely interested in it. He genuinely wants to know why I actually like doing this, or why I wanted to do this, right? And subconsciously she's gonna think like maybe, you know this guy really maybe is interested and he's not so easily impressed. So before you just give validation, you want to dig a little deeper when she starts to try to impress herself and when she starts to say this. And it's the worst when girls try to talk about, oh, well, because sometimes I'll just flat out ask a girl, so, besides your looks, what do you think that you offer in a relationship? And girls be like, oh, I got this wop. I'm like, oh yeah. Is that something that you feel as if is um a big decision maker in a relationship? You start laughing, yeah. Girls sticking their tongue out and shit. Okay. And I'm keeping a stone face, just okay, yeah. Oh, so you feel as if, sex is the only thing that plays a role in a relationship. And as she starts to see I wasn't impressed by it, she'll change up her tune. Oh no, of course not. Like, that's not the only thing. Like, of course, like, being loving, and then they'll give this whole bunch of other bullshit, unauthentic ass reasons as to why, why they bring other shit to a relationship besides sex. It's the worst when girls set themselves up for that and they think that's the only thing that they need, especially really, really pretty girls. Really, really pretty girls do that shit all the time because you guys are suckers. You guys fall for anything. Girl be like, oh, I bring this wop. You be like, yeah, girl, you right. I bet you do got that wop. I ain't get it yet, but yeah. No, don't do that. Stop. You guys are corny. You guys are corny. And that's why you guys get rejected most of the time when you get a good looking girl in your presence. And most of the time, if you on a date with a girl and you feel like you're evenly unmatched and you ain't got no game, she probably just using you for dinner anyway. I've had girls in my phone. There's been times where I've talked to girls and she'll be with me and she'll be calling up a guy, be like, hey, can you send me some money because I'm really hungry right now and I want to order some food. And I'm with her. So this was a while ago. I haven't done this in a while, but she'll order food. She'll order food for the both of us while she's using him and his money. Right. And it's crazy. Why? Because you guys don't have any game. You're just validating a girl. You're just, oh my God, you're this, that. No, like, this is how you subjugate yourself to getting used and played, right? Like, this is how you do that. And you guys need to stop it. You really need to stop it. Now, this one is crazy. This one is crazy. And another way to really convey that you're a prize and getting people into liking you a lot faster. And this is free sauce, by the way. But, by the way, guys, if you want to find this video, this is going to be on Patreon because I said a lot of shit tonight. And this is definitely something you guys are going to have to study. Another way, even still understanding it, I still don't understand why this works, but asking someone for a favor. Yes, if you ask someone for a favor, um, they will like you. And it's crazy. So let me explain that. Ben Franklin had a saying a while back. He says that, like, we actually find ourselves liking someone when we are doing a favor for them. So, if you want someone to like you, ask them to do you a favor. Now, how that works is the reason it's like now the reason this works is people try to ration out in their head as to why they're doing you a favor, right? So, and while they're doing this favor for you, they're asking themselves, especially females, they're like, wait, why am I doing this? Like, why am I sending him this right now? Why am I doing this right now for him? Damn, I must really like this guy if I'm doing. And most guys don't do this, especially we already talked about how most men, they're so quick to try to do a favor for a female because they think that, oh, this is my job as a man, provide and protect and solve issues, right? This is what a lot of guys do. And they're so quick to do a favor, especially if it's like something for a car and guys work on cars. They're so quick to do it. They're so quick to do it. So what you want to do is ask a female for a favor. And while she's in the midst of doing it, she's gonna think like, wow, like, I'm really doing this for him. And I never do this for anyone. And that's partly because most guys don't ask for fucking favors, right? Most guys don't do that. So that's definitely one way of making somebody like you. Now, I remember when I was a lot younger, I was gonna say my early 20s. I used to hang out with one of these older guys, and He was like some African guy, but yo, he had so much game. He wasn't even that attractive, bro. Like, but he always had the best game. And what he would do is, and I know he had coaching. I know he got coaching, but I learned a lot from him. I don't know who he got coaching from, but he told me. I remember him telling me he got coaching from some like PUA coach, and he said that he had coaching. But what he would do was, let's say if we would go out like after work or something like that, and he would be like getting drinks, and I've never drank. I've never gotten drunk a day in my life. And what he would do is he'll be at the bar talking to a girl, right? And in the midst of him talking to a girl, he'd be like, "Oh wait, can you do me a favor for a second? Can you hold my drink?" And this motherfucker would put the drink in her hand, and he would come and talk to me or talk to the group we're with, and she's holding the damn drink. And he would like literally ignore her for like 10 seconds. He'd be like, hold on, can you hold this drink for me? Yo, this is how you do it. I'm telling you, you gotta do it like this. And like he's going mad loud explaining something while this girl is literally sitting there holding the drink. Holding the drink. She's literally holding the drink. And then he'd be like, "Oh yeah, thank you for that. You know you're a dog. Thank you." And then he'll like go in and give her a little hug and a kiss on the cheek and like almost like kind of being condescending. Almost kind of being condescending. But because he asked her for that favor, because he asked her for that favor, they felt as if they liked him. They're like, and you got to think about it from a woman's perspective. Why the fuck am I holding this guy's drink right now? What is wrong with me? Like, why am I doing this? And in her head, she's trying to rationalize, trying to get around the rationale. Why am I doing this? And what she's doing is she's like, man, I must really like this guy. I've never, and most guys aren't going to tell you that. Oh, hold my drink for me, even if you know it, because in that moment it comes off a little rude, and you would have to been talking to that girl somewhat already, right? In that interaction. So that's one way you can ask a girl to do a favor, or like say if you're on a date and you guys are out to eat, be like, oh, can you do me a favor? Can you take my phone and just take a picture of me eating right quick? And if you really got game shit, you could post that on your story and get an X-Man or get somebody jealous or show other girls that you got a lot of game, right? But that's one way. Or if like say if like you need a demonstration on something and you're not understanding how something is going or how to do something, one thing that you can do is you can be like, well, I really don't understand can you like make a video for me and just demonstrate for me how to do it? Or can you send me a video on how it's done? Can you do me a favor? Can you do that for me, please? Because I'm just not understanding via text. And she might actually like make a video for you and show you how to cook something or how to do whatever it was that you were trying to get done, right? And what you got to understand is the whole idea of it and the whole act of her doing that favor for you is making her like you more. And that is, and it's crazy. It's crazy how this works. And I don't even understanding how it works. I still don't understand why it works. I still don't get it. I still don't get it. I still don't get why that works. Now, thank you, whoever is dropping all that stuff in there. I usually don't pay attention to the chat, but I just happen to be looking over. So, now I believe that can work vice versa. As a man, I guess a woman can do it for you too. But because you're conscious of it and you're aware of it right now, and we're talking about it, it shouldn't play that big of a role for you, especially once you're aware of it. But I believe that's something that works vice versa. I couldn't tell you because I never coached a female to this extent where she's going on dates and asking me what to say and what to do. And for females, if I ever coached a female, it'd be so easy because guys are so easy and most guys don't have game. But I feel like I'll be betraying men if I do that, right? I feel a bit of a betrayal. So for me to coach a female, she got to pay a little more because, and not to sound, I'm not misogynistic. I'm not, I swear to God, I'm not, because I've coached females before in the past, but I can count on like maybe one hand how many females it was. It's just not something I do too much. But all right, and the last thing to make a female easily chase you, and there's more steps. There's more to this. to these steps, and this is why I'm making this new series, and I'm gonna put this a part of the approach series on Patreon. I'll put that onto a playlist. But there's more steps to this, but it's just obviously you see how long this is. I've been on here for almost an hour now. And the last thing is setting standards. You have to set standards. Now, there was this guy that I used to buy sneakers from, and I'm somebody, when I used to sell sneakers, I was making a lot of money selling sneakers, but when I used to sell sneakers, I used to try to get the best deal, right? But this guy was a little more reliable. His prices are a little more pricey. It wasn't necessarily like always resell, but it was always a little higher, right? It was always a little higher. And a lot of the times I'm just like, yo, bro, like, why do you sell it so high? Like, I'm trying to buy from you. I like your quality. I brought from you so many times. He's like, bro, if you don't like it, you don't got to buy from me, right? And he was just like very stern and strict on his standards and his prices, right? And he's like, bro, like, honestly, I don't want to go back and forth with you, bro. But he's like, if you don't want to buy from me, like, you don't have to talk to me, but every time you hit me up, I don't want to go back and forth with you. So, bro, this is my price and this is what I'm doing. And my quality is trusted for it. So this is why you paying that extra price, because he was very reliable. His shit was always authentic. And if you go out and buy sneakers, there are a lot of people that are selling replicas and you'll never know it. But he had a way of verifying his receipts and it was very authentic. So he was like, bro, I'm not doing this back and forth with you. No disrespect, but next time you hit me up, I'm not doing it back and forth with you. I'm gonna tell you your price. If you don't want to buy it, then that's it. And I'm like, damn, like, he did say no disrespect, but I'm like, I felt some type of way behind that. But I ended up still buying from him because he was very stern on his prices. And he said, the reason I do this is you're paying for quality, because there's a lot of people out here selling fakes and replicas. And I was just like, damn, well, all right. And and then working with other people and buying sneakers and trying to resell them, and my shit getting sent back from all these selling platforms, and I'm just like, fuck, and that never happened with him. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just buy from him. But he was very stern and very like very very strict with his prices. Now, it's another thing when you're also communicating with females. I'm very big on my respect, and this is something that I do. Like, a lot of the times, especially dating, I'm in New York, so when dating New York females are very aggressive. And especially if you're dating girls in the boroughs, they're very aggressive and they can get very disrespectful. And to them, they think that this is normal. Like, they'd be like, oh, stupid. Fuck you. Are you dumb? Like, that's a big, are you dumb? Like, all right, you're a fucking bozo. Like, all right. And I'm just like, whoa, stop. Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me. And they'd be like, oh, I'm just playing. Why are you so sensitive? No, stop. I'm not sensitive. I'm not sensitive at all. But what you're not about to do, you're not about to disrespect me in my face. And they'd be like, oh, you mad? No, I'm not sensitive. Listen, if that's how you talk to people that you're trying to date, then maybe I'm not the guy for you. So if you don't want to talk to me because I'm asking you not to call me a bozo, or a fucking, are asking me am I dumb every other sentence, then maybe I'm not the guy for you. But I feel like that's not a hard request and you can respect me, plain and simple. Now, because I'm so strict on that and I'm setting those standards from the beginning, women are like, wow, like, this guy's really stern, right? And it has nothing to do with being sensitive, because you got to understand, if a girl's giving you a shit test, you got to be able to pass that. But that's not a shit test. That's a straight up disrespect. Every year, are you dumb? Are you dumb? Are you? And it's like, not even for the craziest things that, like, we can have a disagreement. I'd be like, I think Montclair is better than North Face. Are you dumb? How could you ever say Montclair? What? Like, are you even from? Are you dumb? Like, all right, stop. Let's cut it out. Let's cut it out, right? And I just say, listen, you're not about to do this. And if you can continue, we don't have to talk, honestly. Like, I'm just not with the disrespect, honestly. And most of the time, they comply. They'd be like, all right, like, all right, I'm not going to do it, Mr. Sensitive. It's not about sensitive, about respect. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Simple. Now, this is another one, and this is very important too. Like, say, for example, if there's been times where I might schedule a date with a girl, and a girl be like, oh, well, I'm still debating, or I'm not sure. Can I get back to you on it? Or can I let you know? When they do that, take your offer off the table. Anytime a girl be like, oh, I'm not sure, I'll let you know, bitch. What? I don't say that. Like, I don't react. I'll be like, you know what? You seem like you have a busy week. So forget about it. I'll just go with a friend, or I'll go with somebody else. We can reschedule for another time. The offer's off the table, because guys who are low value, who see them as the prize and don't see themselves as the prize, they can be like, okay, yeah, let me know. And then hit them back up, is supplicating to them and looking like they don't have any options, looking forward to hang. No, I'm fuck that. I'm not doing that. You not sure? You know what? Never mind. I'll holler at you another time. We can talk about this another time. Because if you're unsure, because a lot of the times when she says she unsure, she has a better option, or she has more options, or she has somebody else who she really wants to who she really wants to go out with. That's usually what's happening, right? That's usually what. Sometimes she could have a legitimate date, but there's actually a proper way of asking a girl out that if you're on Patreon, you would know that in a texting series. But if a girl ever does that to me, I pull the offer off the table and I say, you know what? I can understand you have a busy week. Never mind on that date. You let me know when you're free and we can go out some other time. Right. So now I done took the offer off the table. She knows that, listen, I ain't no bozo like you used to be talking to. You get my offer, trust me, you're either gonna take it or we not gonna go nowhere. That's not how this goes. Or even if you have a date set, right? I don't care even if it's last minute, and she's like, oh, can we reschedule because I don't, like, say if you had a dinner date, right? And she wants to go out for lunch and she's asking to reschedule. It's a dub. It's a dub, because the night's gonna be like, oh yeah, all right, we can reschedule for lunch. I can do lunch, because one, it shows that you're available all the time. You got no life. That's one. Two, we know that, like, when you go on a dinner date, there's a lot of things that can happen. You can take her out to eat, and then after, you can probably go back to her house. You can probably get some that night. There's a lot of things that can lead to a dinner date, but you going out for lunch, it's like, nah, shorty, I'm good. You know what? I'm not going to be available for lunch. I see you're a little busy. You take the date off the table and you say, maybe another time, because this isn't going to work, because I'm not available at that time. And yeah, but thank you though. I appreciate it. Maybe just another time. So let me know when you're free, and we'll do that another time. Right. And, that's another way of demonstrating with your actions that you are the prize. And this is something that you guys need to do. Demonstrate that you're the prize, know you're the prize, and act as if, and try not to impress. All right. So this will be found on Patreon. I did record it on YouTube. It's live on YouTube. It'll probably be up on YouTube for like maybe a few more minutes before I make the video unlisted, so you guys can't see it. But yeah, guys, and that's one way to, and not one way. Those are a few ways that we discussed of, how to make a woman chase you and how to seem it like you're the prize. And this is something. These are a lot of things that I always did naturally anyway. These are a lot of things that I always did naturally, and really, this is just a part of who I am. And anyway, guys, so make sure you subscribe to Patreon, subscribe to the podcast. The podcast is free. If you do subscribe to Patreon, join the $16 tier. That's where you're going to find everything. Everything is on the $16 tier. $16 a month is not a lot. Some people spend more than that in a day. For what it's worth, it's worth way more than $16. But we're going to keep it that way because it's really hard to change it when there's so many people on the tier. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. You'll get a lot of good source on the podcast, especially for relationship dynamics. And the podcast is free. Just hit the link in the bio, subscribe to the Spotify podcast, and make sure you subscribe to YouTube, because there are a lot of podcasts that are on YouTube, and there's a lot of things that are not on the podcast that you'll find on YouTube. But if you want that sauce, you want to learn how to game girls, you want perfect relationship dynamics, subscribe to everything, right? Now, if you guys want to book a private consultation, you can text my assistant at 516-500-7906. Once again, that's 516-500-7906. Somebody type it in the chat. So whoever didn't catch it can get that. You can text them. Obviously, consultations are not free, so don't be texting the number. It's not me. It is my assistant. So text that number if you guys want to book a private consultation. And that's pretty much it. Oh, yeah. And the Fisherman Shades. Look at that. Make sure you guys get your Fisherman Shades. Hit the link in the bio. Go to fishermancentral.com. And shout out to my moderator. I see you out here. Listen, I see everything in the chat. I'm just really good at ignoring it. And Tyler is the man. And I always say I'm going to ship some shit. And I really have it. I have it packaged up and everything. Look. I have your packages. I have everything shipped up what I'm gonna send you anyway. But I just been so busy. I haven't got the chance to send it because I have all my packages labeled that I send out. But yeah, we're gonna get him out. Shout out to my moderator and shout out to whoever was telling people to run up the likes and telling everybody to subscribe to the podcast. I thank you for that. And we're gonna end this off here because I still got a shit ton to do and it's already fucking 3 a.m. Fuck my life. I'm hungry. Anyway, guys, go to Fisherman Central, copy your shades today. I'm going to holla at y'all. I know your name. Uber around in my house.